Alright, hello everybody. This is another dual audio commentary between me and Chumpesque from England, and I hope he doesn't have any Robert Green in him.
Hey, how are you, SBK?
I'm good. I'm better after the Robert Green let go for United States.
We shall perhaps skirt around that topic today.
Okay, alright. I need to stop. I stop rubbing into your nose. And I didn't tell you, Chumpesque. I have a Chinese chat enabled on my computer, so
Do
I can
you?
read. I can read what they're saying in Chinese in the chat.
Oh, fun for all the family. So, yeah, it looks like a pretty interesting game. It's going to be between Sky and ForDream. Sky, obviously, the human on the left, and ForDream, the elf on the sort of the east or the right. And what do you think we'll be seeing in this game? What do you think the standard strategy would be in this situation?
Oh man, Sky is so unpredictable. It's not even funny. But most night elves, some night elves like to go Dark Ranger or Panda first on this map because it's much easier to put pressure on the human in a small mass map like this. But you play night elf more than anything. What do you do when you play against human?
I quite like going for really insane strategies, to be honest. Like, I like going Keeper of the Grove first on this map and stuff like that, because you can put on a lot of pressure, or you can go like Keeper of the Grove hunts. There's really a lot of fun you can have just playing a bit crazy, really trying to catch your opponent off guard. But it looks like we're seeing the Warden this time, which has really become so common in this day and age. And actually, an early thing we saw from Sky was one of his original 5 peasants at the start of the game turned into militia form and ran all the way to ForDream's base just in case he was Ancient War creeping that top camp. But but he wasn't, and so he just ended up building a farm there, which is still pretty common. And it looks like we're going to be seeing actually an interesting opening from Sky building a Mountain King rather than a Archmage. So a pretty interesting choice, don't you think?
Yeah, I think that Sky is predicting a Tavern Hero like a Dark Ranger. That's why he picked the Mountain King.
Well, he chose the Mountain King after he saw that the altar was being built at a normal time for a altar hero rather than a tavern hero. So I think it's just he wants to be. Echo House is such a good map for a Mountain King because you can just get up an expansion so easily and then defend it and tech to really high tiers. And it looks like he's actually going for a very early creepjack here and steals the Shadow Priest. Really interesting play here by Sky.
Yeah, and Sky denied the Warden. You see, there's no experience on the Warden.
Yeah.
And there's a footman corpse laying on the ground.
Yeah, some really interesting play here by Sky. Being so aggressive, getting this Warden down to low health already. Really.
One more storm bolt away. That Warden, one more storm bolt away from being.
I think he has the distance. I think he has the distance to get to the Moonwell in time. Yeah, it looks like he probably will be able to, but he'll still need to continue running. And ForDream now putting up that Hunter's Hall. So do you think he was always planning on putting up this Hunter's Hall before he started his tech? Or do you think that really aggressive play forced him into putting that up a bit earlier?
I think he felt like he's behind and that he needs to gain some map control of the Huntresses. I think at least that's what I would do.
Yes.
And there's no use to get out of fast tier 2 because you don't need Dryads as much versus the Mountain King as to AM.
Yes, certainly that's true. Obviously Dryads not too useful, but certainly Bears are very useful because that bolt becomes so much less important. But we're going to have to see how this plays out. I think ForDream probably wishing that he was seeing a Archmage here, just because Mount King is so nice against that Warden, assuming you don't have such low latency that you can blink out of bolts, out of bolt and stuff like that. And looks like ForDream finally managing to creep out this camp, but very late, and putting up an expansion now as well. It looks like both sides will be going for a very early expansion in this game.
I think the ForDream haven't seen the Mountain King for a while, so he's betting on the Sky fast expanding.
Yeah, he has a Wisp, you'll notice, just by Sky's expansion, just a bit above it, and he saw those militia run down and then not run back, so I think he knows that there's an expansion going up.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I didn't notice that Wisp right there. And looks like the Sky is gonna come over and harass this expansion because the Footman's heading to the 8 o'clock right now, and if the Footman doesn't see anything, I think he's gonna turn to 3 o'clock, and that's where he's gonna find the Tree of Life. And I expect Sky to bring everything he has to take down the Tree of Life.
I'm pretty sure Sky knows that there is an expansion going up, because obviously that farm is still in ForDream's base. You can see that there's no tech starting yet. He's still pumping wisps. Sky must know that something is up. Either there's some sort of massive Huntress push that's coming, or much more likely there's an Tree of Life going up.
Ooh, level 2 bolt!
Ooh, yes, and although, look at that, Pendant of Energy on that Warden, that is absolutely huge. Obviously, mana such a big thing for the Warden, who actually picked up the boots now as well, but gets bolted one more time.
Bash!
Oh, God. Blink finally being used, though. We'll get that Warden away, and it looks like Elf is meanwhile creeping out his natural expansion, so actually doing some good multitasking there, and that will probably get him pretty close to level 3 as well, so... But that having been said, Sky's expansion is actually already up. So, swings and roundabouts, really.
Oh, man. Sorry, and it looks like Warden has to hide her face for a while until she just came back with a full HP. I think I was going to use any Tome of Retraining, but what do you think when you're at almost a level 3 Warden and a bunch of mana to use?
I don't think the Warden used the Tome of Retraining. I think the Warden just hadn't picked a second skill point yet. Had we seen Fan of Knives? I imagine it's just because obviously Blink is so useful against that Mountain King. It would be the obvious choice to pick it, or at least to not choose a second skill point. But that Warden now hitting 3, quite nice timing for ForDream, considering that push is now coming in from Sky. It's pretty nice to get that level 3 right on time.
Right. I meant, would you pick the second hero point to on Blink or Fan of Knives? Because you have a bunch of mana to spare.
I think I would leave it open until I needed one or the other. What you often see from the pros is that they won't choose a second skill point on their Warden until they decide that actually, like, this is an occasion in which I need Blink, or this is an occasion in which I need Fan of Knives, and that actually allows quite a lot of versatility in their play. Obviously, there's no actual advantage to picking one or the other. That Mount King getting very low, down to 40 hit points.
Mount King's gonna get killed!
Out. Yeah,
oh no, I got killed!
Oh, he does die. That is a shame. He doesn't manage to use a arcane scroll or anything, so that Mount King goes down in a very nice early start here for ForDream, who still hasn't got his expansion up, bear in mind. So still, and actually there's still 2 creeps at the natural expansion for ForDream, so really he has a fair bit of work to do to keep up, because that Sky has enough money he can just buy back his Mount King at the tavern and buy a Clarity Potion in a second, just watch.
Yeah. And I think Sky was ahead until he lost his Mountain King, and he has to buy the level 3 hero out of the tavern. But I think still Sky is still ahead if you can keep up the tech with the Night Elf, and you can keep the economy sort of even with the Night Elf. Well, of course, I'm a human player first, and you're a Night Elf player first. What would you say if a human can keep up with the economy and tech with you?
I think that can be quite scary, to be honest. I mean, obviously, if a human's going for such an early expansion, you want to have a pretty large tech advantage. You want to be getting those Dryads out in the case of a Archmage, or actually a second hero out as well would be so useful at this point. Something like a Panda would just be so nice to be able to do a whole bunch of damage to Sky's economy, while he can't really attack back too strongly, and without having to spend a huge amounts on towers. I think there's a whole lot that it would be nice for ForDream to be able to do, but he just hasn't been able to do it because he's been kept so behind in his tech. Only now hitting tier 2, we'll probably see a second hero coming out quite shortly for him, and we'll have to see what he decides to do in terms of future tech. But I would say he has a lot of lumber at the moment, so I would say a tier 3 tech at this point would be quite nice.
He is not picking up a tavern hero, otherwise he would have done it already. Well, he's waiting on money, of course.
Yeah, he doesn't have much gold at the moment because he's just been spending it on getting up his lures. But a bit of a creep jack now coming in. That one mud golem getting quite low, but obviously he can't be bolted, and that will get a slow off on that Mountain King, which in conjunction with the Shadow Strike means that Mountain King's actually pretty damn slow. And that Warden's so close to level 4, but has to blink away, and that Mountain King being forced to TP away. So actually I used the Staff Sword to get away, which leaves all these footmen here just to be picked off. Obviously footmen not too useful in the late game, but still nice free experience for that Warden.
Oh yeah, that's too bad. And I was gonna say, Warden. If I were the Warden, I would have popped a Potion of Lesson Vulnerability and get another Shadow Strike out before I can blink out. Yeah, never mind. There's a Potion of Lesson Vulnerability. And why would ForDream just march his troops into these 3 towers?
I think you wanted to cancel the salves and the clarity. You saw that he used the blink to cancel